Sophie, till late in the third quarter, you guys were struggling offensively in that frame. Second half in general didn't feel the same as the first half on that end. Did something change for you guys? What did you see as kind of leading to stalling on that end?
Yeah, I think we were just kind of slow. And every time that we're slow, especially defensively, it just somehow affects our offense.
Indiana Fever's latest loss wasn't about bad luck. It was about letting go of a game they controlled. The Fever fell 88-84 to the last place Washington Mystics, a defeat that dropped them to 7th in the playoff standings and sent shockwaves through a fan base that knows the margin for error is shrinking by the day.
Above her head is Cunningham with a steal. Cunningham feeds Sims, who goes coast to coast and lays it in.
So they had to make sure they had the right shot clock time as well while they were reviewing that.
So Indiana with a 10-point lead here. 6 minutes until halftime as Boston finds some space and knocks it down. Now Sims launches ahead for Mitchell. What a pass by Odyssey Sims.
Playing for the Buckeyes.
Here is the Buckeye product on a backdoor pass, but Mitchell lost the handle. Sutton thought about the three, steps in, Hull got a piece. Dolson has been wide open all possession, splashes home a three, and we are level at 47. Sims with 5 off the bench. Indiana has 8 first quarter bench points. That's typically been a strength when they're playing well, as Iriafen just bullies her way inside. Now Citron being guarded by Lexi Hull. Hull goes over the screen, defends her really well. Citron just has to fire it up, and a circus shot for Citron.
Indiana built what looked like a commanding 13-point cushion midway through the second quarter, leading 40-27. Boston was establishing position inside, Mitchell was distributing confidently, and Cunningham's energy had the group clicking. But the Mystics didn't have to deliver a knockout run from a superstar to shift momentum. Instead, they pieced together a 22-7 surge, fueled by smart shot-making, second-chance rebounds, and Indiana's mistakes. That stretch erased the cushion in a flash, silencing the building and leaving the Fever on their heels. Washington's efficiency told the story. They shot 52% during that decisive run, while Indiana went cold, settling for isolation and coughing up turnovers.
It's up to the chat. Get excited! Why at the same time? Because I'm you and you're me. We switch bodies. Zubbed in the chat.
Oh, gets it into Boston. Hand off Mitchell. Indiana has to hurry. Lob back for Boston. Boston finishes. It's a 2-point game. 5.9 seconds remaining. Cunningham looking. Finds Mitchell. Launches a corner three. It won't go. Rebound Aiksler. And this young Washington Mystics group who continues to impress throughout this season. And Sidney Johnson in his first year comes up with a big win on the road.
The Fever committed 21 fouls in total, gifting Washington 26 free throw attempts. 14 of those came in the fourth quarter, where the game was decided. Every late rotation and careless reach-in meant free points for a Mystics team that didn't have to create much on their own. Combine that with multiple empty possessions, and Indiana's lead turned into a deficit that felt inevitable. This wasn't a game lost because of officiating or a single hot hand. It was lost possession by possession, mistake by mistake.
Yeah, I think we over-dribbled at times. Our off-ball movement wasn't there. We did a lot of standing. It's almost like we gave the ball to Kelsey and just tried to watch her work. And that's not when we're at our best. I mean, yes, certainly we want to have the ball in our hands, but we've got to continue to get movement with and without the basketball. It was getting stuck. I mean, we want to play 0.5 to 1 second basketball, and we weren't. And it's got to get moving. And
with Chloe Bibby tonight, were there thoughts maybe plugging her in to try and spark the offense a little bit, or what was the decision behind not playing her tonight?
Yeah, there were some thoughts. I think that it matched up defensively more than anything with the way that we were going to try to play them, or in some of our switches and things like that. So that was mostly the reason.
And then just with the rotation, was it just those eight or seven that you ran with? Was it just they were flowing well and you wanted to just leave that going, or what was the thought there?
Yeah, I think some of it was defense. Being able to execute the type of defensive coverages that we wanted to have against this, the way that they play. It hurts. I mean, think if we had 8 turnovers for 13 points in the second half as well. So we didn't take care of it.
Adding to the frustration, it was Washington's young players who delivered the dagger blows. Rookie Sonia Shakin stunned Indiana with 21 points, drilling shots with confidence that belied her experience. Fellow rookie Kiki Iriofan was relentless inside, muscling her way to 18 points and 12 rebounds. She turned offensive boards into back-breaking extra chances that flipped the momentum entirely. For a team still trying to find its identity, Washington looked composed in the moments Indiana faltered.
And I think it was something like a 22-7 run, the end of the second, beginning of the third quarter. And those are hard to recover from when anytime really, but when you're missing pieces. And, we've got to make sure that we're sharper at times. We don't have the margin to have lulls within quarters. And then I believe they had something like 21 points from free throw line and turnovers of their 26 in the fourth. And, we control that, defending without fouling. We control that, taking care of the basketball, decision making at times. And some of it's, playing some people out of position, and some of it's just not being, valuing the basketball in the way that we need to value it, being a little sloppy with it.
That's why frustration has shifted toward head coach Stephanie White. The decision that drew the most ire, Chloe Bibby logging 0 minutes. The sharpshooter is hitting 42% from deep this season, yet she sat in a game where spacing evaporated and Indiana's half-court sets bogged down. White defended the move by citing defensive matchup concerns, but that reasoning rang hollow as Washington repeatedly exposed Indiana inside and at the line. Fans can't reconcile leaving a proven shooter on the bench while the team fell into predictable isolation sets. Instead of spreading the floor to help Mitchell and Boston, the Fever clogged the paint, letting Washington load up on drives. Mitchell was forced into tough, contested attempts while shooters stood open. The game plan undercut the roster's strengths at the exact time they needed balance.
On their ball screen coverages right now.
Here's Mitchell on the handoff, bounce pass. Boston one bounce and a left-handed finish. Here's Boston, the offensive rebound, flips inside to Howard, who lays it in.
You go step up screen, flare on the weak side. They had to make sure they had the right shot clock time as well while they were reviewing that.
So Indiana with a 10-point lead here, 6 minutes until halftime as Boston finds some space and knocks it down. Indiana with their work cut out for them here. 6-point deficit, just over 5 minutes left to play. Mitchell, feed inside. There's an easy 2 for Boston. Cunningham leans in, thought she'd throw the foul. Boston pulls down the rebound and lays it in. Pulls her way inside.
What a pass by Melvin, too. Really nice.
Mitchell turns on the Jets and gets to the rim.
No one can keep Keller is one of the best rebounders out of her area, which means the ball not directly above her head is Cunningham with a steal.
Cunningham feeds Sims, who goes coast to coast and lays it in. So 4 quick ones for Indiana.
Post-game comments made the gap between players and coach clear. Sophie Cunningham spoke with raw honesty. We have to get back to being dogs. Her point wasn't subtle. The Fever aren't striking fear into opponents anymore. They've become predictable, exploitable, and too willing to let mistakes pile up. White, meanwhile, cited fouling and stagnant offense. Valid points, but ones that sidestepped her own role in the collapse. Identifying the issues isn't the same as taking ownership for in-game choices. Fans heard excuses. Players asked for accountability. That contrast cut deep.
I think the thing that we just have to continue to do that kind of got us on the run we had before the last couple games was we were aggressive at the opponent attack on defense, and that led to easy transition buckets. That led to everyone being aggressive and on their front foot on the offensive end. And, we have new players, and that's okay, but, we just have to adjust, and we need them. We've faced a lot of adversity, but we should be used to that by now. And I think they can just kind of outwork this a little bit, and that just can't be our excuse. We can never really control the outside things. You can't control injuries, and so that's why you really do have to control your mental and control what you can control. And I think that we have a really good group. We're still a tight-knit group. We're adding new players in that are amazing. O's been around the league for a long time, and I know you don't think so, but it's a blessing that you weren't on another team because we need you here. And so I just think it's an adjustment period. The highs and lows, you just have to stay kind of steady, right? Every team faces it. I feel like we faced it more than most this year, but I think this is going to set us up for something good. I don't know if it's this season. I don't know if it's next season, but I think there's always something that you can be grateful for and learn during those hard times.
This wasn't just one loss. It was a missed chance against the league's bottom team with playoff positioning on the line. Indiana is now clinging to 7th place. With a schedule that only gets tougher, their resilience and fight are real, but so are the late game collapses that have haunted them all season. The Fever don't lack talent. Boston is a franchise cornerstone. Mitchell is a proven scorer. Cunningham and Sims bring grit, and Bibby's shooting is a weapon waiting to be deployed. What they lack are closing adjustments, a system that maximizes those weapons, and leadership that aligns with the urgency players are showing.
Sophie, what was the message inside the locker room? Like, what were you guys talking about there after the game?
Yeah, I just think that we've had some hard injuries this year. We've had some different lineups and roster spots. And, to be frank, I don't think anyone else around the league thinks that we can do it anymore. But I think that our group does. And I think that we just have to get that confidence back. When we're clicking offensively, defensively, we're scary. And not a lot of teams can beat us, even with the roster that we have right now. And so for us, it's just remembering who we are. It's our identity. We got to get back to being dogs, got to get back to being aggressive, being on our front foot, and not allowing teams like this to come in here and outwork us.
The past couple games where it feels like kind of that wear and tear's taking a toll.
Not really. And I think that she kind of hit it. You have to give yourself a little bit of grace. When you have so many different lineups, O and I have never played together. O hasn't played with a lot of people, maybe Tosh. But you have to know her style. She has to know our style. And so it's different, but that's part of being a pro. You got to adjust and you got to learn fast. And I think that's a really cool thing too, because when you click, you click. And so that's scary for people coming in here and trying to play us.
The question now isn't just whether Indiana can survive the playoff race. It's whether the gap between effort and direction can be bridged before it's too late. Do the Fever back White and hope stability pays off once Clark and the backcourt heal? Or do they acknowledge that coaching adjustments, or lack thereof, may be holding them back at the worst possible time? Because this 88-84 loss to Washington wasn't just another stumble, it was a reminder that effort without execution isn't enough. The Fever fought, the Mystics finished. And unless Indiana finds a way to close, this game may be remembered as the moment their playoff push began slipping away.